For my friend's 3-day wedding, I had to buy 3 different dresses, including alterations and specific shoes, which totaled over $700. She also wanted specific hairstyles for each day. Unfortunately, starting in March, my hair started to deteriorate. Due to health reasons, my hair was falling out in chunks, and in May I made the difficult decision to cut my hair. I told the bride about my decision 2 weeks before the wedding, and she didn't say anything bad. The following week, she came over to my house, and when she was about to leave, she brought up that she was concerned about my haircut, and I told her it would look good even though I wouldn't be uniform with the other bridesmaids. The following day, I received this message. After our recent conversations, I'd like to remind you of my boundaries. I've been very accommodating and graceful, but I can't allow you to disrespect me. As you know, my wedding has been something I've dreamt of for many years. Husband and I have invested a lot of money into the video and photos of this day, and as we reflect on this day in the future, we want to see our vision reflected in our memories. Since I asked each of you to be bridesmaid, I've been very clear and very communicative in my request. The timing of your decision to cut your hair in advance is very upsetting to me. I would have felt respected if you had communicated with me more than a week prior to the wedding so we could have worked together to find a collaborative solution. Your inconsistencies have concerned me, and while I sympathize with your health concerns, I'm not willing to compromise my vision to accommodate you or anyone else when you have informed me in advance and we could have found a better solution. Since this is something you can no longer fully commit to, I need you to please step down from participating in my wedding. This was 3 days before the wedding. I immediately sent her and her husband an invoice asking them to reimburse for the dresses and shoes, keeping in mind that one of the dresses is still in her possession even though I paid for it. Neither of them replied, and so I decided to take it to court. I was told I was inconsistent and selfish after I spent the past 2 weeks helping her plan the wedding shower. I worked with another bridesmaid to surprise her with a bridal shower after our bachelorette trip had to be cancelled. I spent hours helping her out with wedding details. When she asked me to help her tone up before the wedding, I sent her a personalized workout program and even went with her to the gym to show her the ropes. When I agreed to be her bridesmaid, I was more than willing to oblige with what she asked, even if at times it was a lot of time and money. So, am I the idiot for taking her to court because she kicked me out for cutting my hair? Edit, honestly, there's a big reason why I'm taking her to court. I want to hear her explain herself because I never got anything besides gaslighting and being called inconsiderate and disrespectful. I want to see what ridiculous reason she's come up with. Not the idiot. Should have had the lawsuit served to her at the altar. I'm an attorney. I know process servers who would do this without a single heartbeat change. Your friendship is over. I don't understand brides who think they have any say over other people's bodies. Yeah, imagine going around like, I don't like your face, change it, or no, your legs are too long, can't have that. She sounds like a Disney villain. I am not willing to compromise my vision. LOL, the delusion. I can't allow you to disrespect me. And then she turns round and utterly disrespects you and your friendship. What a horrible, heartless friend she is. You've done your absolute best to be involved with her wedding and bridal shower and helping her so much in addition to paying hundreds for your dresses, etc., and she kicks you out because of your hair, for which you have an extremely valid reason for cutting. And even if you didn't, it'd still be absolutely ridiculous for her to do and say all this. I'm baffled. I can only imagine how you're feeling. She's not even concerned the least bit about your health. Hope you win, but if you lose, see it as paying for the removal of toxic waste. I have a different opinion. Everyone's the idiot. Your friend, Bridezilla, is most definitely an idiot and her tone and attitude is terrible, but you say that you immediately sent her an invoice. I think that further escalation to small claims could have potentially been avoided had you attempted to contact your friend and tried to work towards reimbursement first. In my opinion, jumping straight to sending them an invoice and subsequently initiating a lawsuit right before someone's wedding does make you an idiot as well. Update, am I the idiot for taking my friend to court? This has been a long time coming. I've had a lot of people reach out to me asking what the results of the case have been. I figured I would wait until everything was done to update everyone all at once. In December, I got the notification that a court date had been set for February the 7th. It would be virtual, and since it's small claims, we would represent ourselves. I began gathering my evidence and created a virtual file, which I shared with the court and her 7 days before the hearing. On the day, she did show up. We were given the chance to settle, but that was unsuccessful. When we returned to the hearing, I found out she'd also made a virtual file with her evidence but never shared it with me. The court then made her share it, and what a surprise I had. She'd copied my entire format for presenting evidence. Keep in mind that this is a format I created. She didn't even have the decency or brain cells to make something up herself. The hearing proceeded and we were both given a chance to share our side. I won't go into the details of it, but it took probably 10 or 15 minutes. It was still the gaslighting and me being called inconsistent and disrespectful. She never had a proper explanation why she kicked me out. In my state, they do not give you the verdict right away and it can take up to 90 days. And so I waited, and waited, and waited, and waited. Then yesterday, almost 90 days after, I got a verdict. I won. She has been ordered to pay me the total of $808.94 for the dresses and shoes. I have to return 2 dresses and shoes I have to her. The verdict goes into effect May 30th. I don't see her appealing it, or fingers crossed she doesn't. All in all, I'm very happy with the outcome and so ready to close this chapter. Thank you to everyone who's been so invested in this with me. I hope this was the season finale you were looking forward to. P.S. My hair and health are doing much better. My 3 bald spots are growing again, and I couldn't be happier. I'm super glad for you. In the first place, you had to cut your hair because of health reasons, and your friend was more concerned about the vision of her perfect wedding than your health. I'm sure there could have been something done, like hair extensions or a wig if you'd agreed to that. Instead, she just kicked you out. It's only right you got reimbursed for all that money. For heaven's sake, I don't understand the "I'm getting married so everyone in the wedding party has to do what I want them to do with their appearance and hair color and length" level of entitlement brides have. My sister's only rule for my hair was freshly dyed, which her best friend royally screwed up, and no space buns. Anyway, you go, girl. I'm so glad you won. Don't ever talk to that crappy woman ever. For some context, I, 46 male, was married to my ex-wife, Ida, 46 female, for 21 years before she cheated and remarried to her now idiot of a husband, Dan, 48 male. We have 4 kids together: Henry, 28 male, Zach, 26 male, Cam, 25 male, and Rory, teen female. This situation only really involves Rory. Since my boys were teens or young adults when we divorced, they got to choose who they live with. I have Rory most of the time. I pay for her schooling, medical, extracurriculars, etc., while Ida and Dan get her every other holiday and don't really pay for stuff. Well, for 4th of July, Rory went over to Ida and Dan's and then stayed there until about a week before school started. Rory confided in me that the whole time she was there, she couldn't really do anything fun and was stuck watching her younger siblings while Dan and Ida went out. She told me she felt like a babysitter more than a daughter, which hurt my heart for Rory, since she was really excited to see her mother. She also told me she'd like to stick with visits again and not staying for a whole month or 2. Well, about 2 nights ago, I got a call from Ida. She seemed happy and started talking about Rory and how she liked it there. She continued to ramble a bit before asking for me to ask Rory about staying another month. I laughed, which caused Ida to be mad, and she hung up. Dan texted me, calling me an idiot for laughing at her, and my brother said it was kind of mean to do. Am I the idiot? Edit, I honestly didn't mean to laugh. I don't know why I did. Not the idiot. When someone says something laughably ridiculous, you laugh. It was a natural reaction and I don't blame you one bit. If I had to guess, she probably believed that since she and Rory probably don't get along, nor have the same relationship you and Rory have, she assumed Rory didn't tell you anything about being their babysitter. Oh well, looks like your ex hasn't given up her penchant for lying. My guess is the mother is so unaware of Rory's feelings, or that Rory even has an opinion, and I bet she didn't think Rory would complain to her daddy about it. She thought it was a secret between mom and daughter. Protect your daughter. If she feels that she doesn't want to go there anymore, or wants to restrict her visits because of her mother's actions, support her in this. You're doing the right thing by your child, and that is all you need to do. She doesn't want your daughter to stay to spend more time together. She wants her to stay to extend the free babysitting service. You saw through your ex's BS and she got upset with it. Time for your daughter to come home and for your ex to start paying a babysitter if she wants to go out. Your ex has proved herself to be not just a crappy wife, but a crappy parent. She threw away all her good parenting at the same time as your marriage, apparently. So recently I, 32 female, bought a few presents for my niece's birthday, which was a few days ago. My niece is pre-tween and she's been wanting this almost $300 thing. It was expensive, but I'd been saving up for it because I thought she deserved it. She's been doing good in school and good at home. Anyways, I got to a party and I'd left the toy at home. It was going to be a surprise I could give her after the party since I checked with everybody else getting her a gift and nobody was getting what I got. I thought this was a great plan. I bring my little gift bag of a few things she liked, to be specific, a few candy bars and a $20 gift card, and gave it to her when it was time to open the gifts. She opened it and looked at me in an annoyed way. "This is all you got me? Just candy bars and a gift card?" I was shocked by what she said. I was debating on whether I should give her other present, but she'd been extremely rude, so I decided to hold on. I pulled her mom aside and told her I was going to wait until Christmas, or maybe her next birthday, to give her the gift because my niece had been rude. She asked me, "Why can't you just give it to her now? You already bought it." I told her it was because her daughter was rude and I didn't feel like giving it to her today. My sister got mad and told me to leave the party then. I shrugged and left. Once I got home, I put the unopened box in my basement. I checked my phone and my sister had called me an idiot for not giving my niece the car. I responded that my niece was rude and I didn't feel like giving a rude pre-tween an expensive toy right now. My sister and my mom say I should just give her the toy, and I'm standing firm. They keep calling me an idiot and I'm starting to think I'm in the wrong. So, am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Your niece needs to learn how to accept gifts with grace, even if it's not what she expected or wanted. I feel like kids are generally taught very young to immediately say thank you after opening a gift and not to criticize gifts they don't like. It's part of basic manners that should be just as ingrained as saying thank you when you ask someone to hand you something. This behavior at her age is entirely inappropriate and you are absolutely right to not give her the present. Even a 5-year-old should have had to apologize for being rude before receiving the gift. Have you considered that your sister or mother may have hinted to the niece that you were getting the expensive toy? Remember when we were taught, it's the thought that counts, or don't look a gift horse in the mouth? Stay strong. I would consider returning the gift and getting your money back. I think that's what happened. They tipped niece off about the bigger gift and set her expectation. I'm not saying she wasn't rude, but I think she was frustrated that she'd been promised something bigger, albeit not by OP. If your sister wants to raise an entitled idiot and your mother is co-signing off on that, they can deal with it. You are under no obligation to buy into their nonsense. Update. So I'm going to keep the gift to give her during Christmas. Also, I did find out her mom had told her. I don't blame her because her mom always tells her, so I expected this. My niece does usually get gift cards and chocolate. She loves it. She's asked me for it for the past few years for her birthday. The card is for her video games. I, 21 female, want to preface with the fact that I do love my dad, 59 male. However, I've reached my breaking point. My father has always had a passion for race car driving. My father finally found the time and money in his 30s to pursue this dream seriously. He has a lot of trophies in the storage room of our house from his about 10 years of racing, plus some VHS tapes. However, he never got to go pro because racing is expensive, and a lot of what he was making back in the races wasn't going back into his car and stuff, as he had some substance issues. He quit racing when I was 5. Since my birth, he has directed his passion onto me, even more so since he quit racing. I was literally born while he was watching a rerun of one of his idol's races on the hospital TV in my mom's room, or so he says. He even named me after his idol's daughter, first and middle name. He spent my entire life trying to get me into racing. While I admit some aspects of fun, especially riding shotgun at a drag race a couple of times, I have zero interest in racing, amateur or professional. Aside from just not having any particular desire to do it, it's dangerous as all heck. My father got injured a lot during his racing years and was almost burned alive once. No thanks. My father won't listen. I tell him no, he tells me to try it. I tell him it's dangerous. He tells me about safety measures and how I won't care when I'm finally doing it. I tell him my passion is to be a novelist. He tells me I can just write novels on the side. My life has constantly been having racing and getting good grades shoved down my throat. Yesterday, he called me up to see how I was doing and I told him about some essays I have due soon and how I had some crappy customers at work and I was tired and stressed. How does he reply? By telling me I could just quit my job, drop out, move back in with him, and start racing. He said he's been putting money away for me whenever I'm ready to do it. I told him no and asked him why he just didn't give me the money for college. I'm paying everything by myself and he's the only family member to not give or offer any financial help. He said I'm clearly handling that fine and this money is for my future career as the best female NASCAR driver. I told him that I didn't want to be a race car driver and that he needed to stop pushing it on me, that it wasn't my fault he failed at his dream and I didn't exist for him to live vicariously through me despite the fact he clearly seems to think otherwise. He got defensive, saying I was being a brat and out of line, then tried to laugh it off and I told him I needed to go. We said our goodbyes and hung up. My mom texted me today, she and Dad are amicable nowadays, to tell me that Dad was hurt by what I said and was feeling badly. I told her that he's been pushing my buttons my entire life, and I've told him to stop politely every time and it hasn't worked. Maybe I'm too angry to see it, but was I the idiot? Not the idiot at all. Also, for your information, trying to live through your kids like this and dismissing their dreams and trying to substitute them for your own is classic narcissistic parenting behavior. Him withholding money that's supposedly for you unless you fulfill his wishes is another sure sign. I'm sorry to tell you that even as you get older, this will never not be an issue between you. Also, this would be bad enough if it was something safe like becoming a lawyer, a doctor, or an artist. Pushing your kid to essentially risk their life doing pro racing is insane. It's incredibly dangerous. Telling your kid they should do something like that because it'll make you feel like your dreams weren't wasted is crazy. And if I was his ex-wife, I wouldn't give a damn how much his feelings were hurt. I feel like most people will disagree with me on this, but while you're correct that your dad doesn't have the right to live vicariously through you, you are the idiot for the way you handled it. Telling your dad he failed at his dreams is a pretty out-of-line comment towards someone who's trying to include you in their passion. There are better ways to handle that. There are lots of situations where someone may be 100% in the right, but the way they go about making their point is wrong. This seems like one of those situations.